A very good evening to you. You're watching Prime Time News on News First. I'm Chaturang Hapwarachi. Let's first take a look at the headlines. Sri Lanka records more than 1,300 new COVID-19 cases.
නිවාරයෙන්ම අපි ඉන්නේ ලොකු වසංගතයක් අභියස සංකූලතා එන හුඟක් වැඩි වුණොත් ආවම ඉන්නේ පාලනය කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
What will happen if one is infected with COVID-19? Why are there delays in hospitalizing COVID-19 cases?
කලබල වෙන්න එපා, බය වෙන්න එපා. ගෙදර ඉන්න, අනිත් අයගෙන් වෙන් වෙලා හැකිතාක් දුකට තනියම ඉන්න, වගේම හොඳට ජලය බොන්න, පුළුවන් ඉක්මනටම ඔන්න රෝහල් කරා ඇතුල් කිරීම අපි මේ අවස්ථාවේදී සිදු කරමු.
Speaker received Supreme Court determination on Port City Bill. Muslim MPs who voted for the 20th Amendment hosted 20 iftar by the Prime Minister. Attorney General turns down foreign posting offer, says he needs to remain in public service.
Hello.
Hello, love. Just to let you know, my parents are coming home tonight.
But we still have to go grocery shopping.
I might get a little late. Do you think you can do it?
Fine, I'll do it.
Please don't forget, okay?
I have to go now, I'm in a meeting.
Meeting?
Cargill's Online, delivering groceries on time, always.
Main sponsor.
Cargill's Online, delivering groceries on time, always.
On to those stories in detail. 1,895 COVID-19 cases were detected in the country today. Accordingly, the total infections in Sri Lanka has now risen to 119,424. Official figures indicate that 810 individuals had recovered from the virus, raising the tally of recoveries up to 100,885. At present, 17,805 infected individuals are under medical care. The Health Ministry noted that 734 individuals have died due to the virus.
The division in the Trincomalee police jurisdiction have been placed under isolation.
Will the number of COVID-19 cases continue to rise?
In the recent days, the number of daily COVID-19 cases reported in the country had exceeded 1,500. It is highly probable that this number will further increase and even surpass the 2,000 mark. I urge everyone to remain inside their homes as much as possible. Refrain from travelling and attending gatherings. We all have a responsibility to curb the spread of the virus.
There may
be more asymptomatic COVID-19 cases in the society. Although the reported figures amount to 2,000, we may have an equal amount of cases that have not been detected. 4,000 COVID-19 infected individuals will easily spread the disease to another 8,000. We are all at risk. And this is why we urge the public to be careful. We can curb the spread of the virus. If we all adhere to health guidelines and be careful, we don't have to worry about beds or oxygen. If every citizen protects themselves, we can protect the entire country. The new COVID-19 virus has a high virulence compared to the previous ones. The virus spreads faster and causes more complications across a larger group. If the number of cases continues to surge, it will exhaust the health system and we will no longer be able to control the situation. The situation thus far has been manageable.
What should you do if you test positive for COVID-19?
It takes approximately 2 days to obtain the results of a PCR test. Therefore, after being subjected to a PCR test, you must stay in self-quarantine until the results are received. If you test positive for the virus, you must inform the PHI officer in your area. If you are not displaying any symptoms of the virus, they will take steps to direct you to an immediate treatment center. If you do display symptoms of the virus, they will direct you to the nearest hospital. You can contact the Presidential Task Force to prevent COVID-19 via the hotline 1906 and obtain their assistance. You can also call Sudath Samaraweera that falls under the purview of the Health Promotion Bureau via 1999 and obtain the assistance of a doctor or medical specialist.
වෛද්‍යවරියක ඍජුවම සම්බන්ධ කරගෙන අවශ්‍ය උපදෙස් ලබා ගන්නට පුළුවන්.
දවසකට එකපාරම 1500.
When directing COVID-19 cases to hospitals, there is a delay in the process. That is not a technical issue. As part of the process, we then segregate them based on their gender. When directing them to hospitals, we must provide transportation to the patients. This is a lengthy process that takes time. Therefore, we urge everyone not to panic. You must remain inside your home and maintain distance from the rest of your family. You must consume plenty of water. We will do our best in ensuring that all COVID-19 cases are directed to the hospitals as soon as possible.
ඒ වගේම හොඳට ජලය බොන්න පුළුවන් ඉක්මනටම ඔන්න රෝහල් කරා ඇතුල් කිරීම අපි මේ අවස්ථාවේදී සිදු කරනවා.
Protecting expectant mothers.
අද ලංකාවේ ගර්භණී මව්වරුන්
Approximately 31 million births take place every year. During the past 6 months, approximately 1,000 expectant mothers who tested positive for COVID-19 have recovered. During the first 28 weeks of pregnancy, 80% of those who tested positive are asymptomatic. Only a PCR test will help identify whether they have been infected or not. However, the remaining 20% will display symptoms of the virus. The new COVID-19 variant may cause muscle pain and cough, and further development of the virus can cause pneumonia in expectant mothers. Based on scientific evidence, expectant mothers less than 28 weeks of pregnancy have a low probability of suffering a miscarriage or causing complications to the baby. However, those with more than 28 weeks of pregnancy are under the threat of COVID-19, and such mothers should be cautious if they test positive for the virus. We urge everyone always to wear a face mask and maintain social distancing. Always sanitize and wash your hands. It would be best if you could work from home during this period.
සැනිටයිසේෂන් පාවිච්චි කරලා නැහැ ප්‍රතිස්සෙම පුළුවන් නම් තමන්ගේ වැඩ කරන කාන්තාවන් ඉන්නවා නම් ගෙදර ඉඳන් වැඩ කරන්න.
Sri Lanka commenced the inoculation of the Russian Sputnik vaccine for COVID-19. The vaccine was administered among residents of Gothatua between the ages of 30 and 60. We are capable of administering 6.5 million Sputnik vaccines. The second dose of this vaccine should be given after 3 weeks of administering the first dose. Currently, there are no plans to administer the Sputnik vaccine as a second dose to those who receive the AstraZeneca vaccine as the first dose. We have already allocated the funds for it. The relevant agreements have already been signed and the payments are being made accordingly. We have not faced any financial constraints so far. Meanwhile, Canada has authorized the use of the Pfizer vaccine for children between the ages of 12 and 15, becoming the first country to do so. An expert committee is currently evaluating the jab in Sri Lanka as the approval of the National Medicines Regulatory Authority has been sought to import the vaccine. Sri Lanka's largest COVID-19 treatment hospital, constructed by the army in Sidua, is to be completed within the next 24 hours. The emergency medical facility is made up of several isolation wards and can accommodate up to 1,200 patients at any given time. The Brandix Group had assisted the Sri Lanka army in constructing the medical facility.
Meanwhile, a special operation is being conducted to identify individuals who are flouting COVID-19 regulations, such as failing to wear a face mask. The Army's Special Drone Regiment has assisted the police in carrying out this operation in certain areas. The purpose of this exercise is to primarily monitor whether the public is abiding by health regulations in areas that are under isolation. Meanwhile, the police launched a special operation in the Jaffna town to identify individuals who were failing to wear a face mask. This was the manner in which operations took place in the Western Province as well.
අපිට ලැබෙන ආරංචි අනුව ගිය සතිය තුල ඒ කියන්නේ ගිය දවස් 7 තුල මේ 1000
Based on intelligence reports that we have received, we can say that the daily number of infections has exceeded 2,000 in the past week, although the official tally is said to range between 1,800 and 1,900. We state with responsibility that they are concealing these numbers with clear intentions. The government is spending 625 million on gymnasiums, but we don't think these gymnasiums are a timely requirement. The vaccination program has been the talk of the town for more than 7 to 8 months. They have promised that they can provide sufficient amounts of vaccines to the people of this country, but they have only administered this vaccine to 950,000 people as of now. As the United National Party, we have estimated that it will cost $400 million to vaccinate 17 million people. The government has failed to allocate this $400 million. We also have concerns about the COVID-19 fund. I heard that this fund amounts to nearly 20 billion. Why can't we spend these funds for the people of this country? There is no transparency on this fund and on the entity which has the authority over the fund.
Clinical trials have confirmed that the Dhammika tonic, a product manufactured by Dhammika Bandara of Kegol, is not a suitable drug for the treatment of COVID-19. The Ministry of Health had appointed an expert committee consisting of professors to investigate into the matter. The panel of experts, through its report submitted to the Health Ministry and local authorities, pointed out that the Dhammika tonic was not a suitable drug to treat the coronavirus. Various views regarding the indigenous tonic were expressed today. There is no point of referring indigenous medicines to Western medical practitioners. These medicines must be produced to indigenous medical experts. Dhammika is not a doctor. He developed the potion based on an advice from goddess Kali in his dream. Doctors are those who have been registered with the Ayurveda authority. Do not measure this using Western medical standards. We are trapped.
අපි දැක්ක ධම්මික පැණියත් පාර්ලිමේන්තුවට ගෙනලා කතානායකතුමත් ඒක පාවිච්චි කරලා ඒක නිකන් ප්‍රොමෝෂන් එකක් වගේ වුණා ජනතාව ඊට පස්සේ ඒකට උනන්දු වුණා කතානායකතුමත් මේ මැති ඇමතුරු උත්සාහ දරුවේ. The speaker and the ministers attempted to promote the indigenous medical product as it would prevent foreign currency outflows. However, we have now learned that it became futile, but allegations can't be leveled against us. We did not promote a foreign product. We made an attempt, but it failed.
එසා යම් උත්සාහයක් දරුවා අසාර්ථක වෙලා තියෙනවා.
We must be careful of statements claiming that various individuals are coming up with their own medicines. Do not provide unnecessary coverage to such statements. The people can be misled. It is shameful to note that some media institutions allocated airtime to promote this product, although it had not been subjected to tests. What do they have to say? Who will compensate for the people's time and the risk that they were exposed to while lining up to obtain the tonic? They have forgotten to take the required steps to stem the spread of the virus. The Civil Aviation Authority has announced that passengers travelling from India will not be permitted to disembark in Sri Lanka with immediate effect. Additional Director General P.A. Jayakantha said that this decision had been made considering the COVID-19 situation in India and the directives of health authorities.
The hearing of cases at the Supreme Court and Appeal Court have been temporarily suspended. The Registrar of the Supreme Court noted that the hearing of cases will remain suspended from today until the 14th of this month. The Registrar added that only urgent cases will be taken up in court based on the request of lawyers. Speaker Mahinda Amaraweera has said that he had received the determination of the Supreme Court on the Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill last evening. The Speaker told Newsfirst that the Supreme Court determination will be tabled in Parliament on the 18th of May. Decisions pertaining to the debate on the Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill will be made at the upcoming party leaders' meeting in Parliament. Party leaders had decided to postpone yesterday's scheduled debate on the bill after the Parliament had not received the Supreme Court's determination on the matter. You must remember that the section of the port city we lease out to China will only be given on a 99-year lease. In other words, the Colombo Port City will be owned entirely by the Sri Lankan government after 99 years. In our view, this is a significant victory. The port city will attract tourists, businesses and investment. It will attract banking institutions and nightclubs. Sri Lanka will benefit from the income that will flow into the country along with these investments. We can uplift our country's ailing economy with the port city.
The government is rushing to pass the Port City Bill to keep up with the pledge made to the Chinese Defence Minister who visited Sri Lanka a few days ago. During his visit, the Sri Lankan government had promised that the Port City Bill would be passed soon. And now the Chinese Foreign Minister is due to arrive in the country. Is it their loyalty to China or an attempt to defer its debt obligations the reason for the government to rush this matter? You must remember that the Port City Bill has drawn much criticism. Local businesses cannot carry out operations within the port city. The port city violates our country's constitution. This bill vests powers in the Economic Commission to provide tax concessions to investors while disregarding the country's financial and tax laws. But what about the people? Is the government acting so swiftly to address the COVID-19 crisis in this country or save the lives of its citizens?
අපි අහනවා ආණ්ඩුවට තියනවාද මෙච්චර හදිස්සියක් කොවිඩ් වලින් මේ මැරෙන මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ජීවිත බේර ගන්න ආණ්ඩුවට තියෙන හදිස්සියක් නැහැ.
ඇයි අධිකරණයේ තීන්දුව එන්නේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා?
The government has spent funds on advertising the Colombo Port City. Is the government certain about the Supreme Court's decision on the port city? Are the decisions based on the arrival of the Chinese Foreign Minister of Defense? Is that the Supreme Court's verdict? The government is wasting hundreds of thousands of rupees to give publicity to the Colombo Port City even before the Supreme Court's verdict. We oppose this move and will take action against it.
ඒකට විරුද්ධවත් අපි අවශ්‍ය හඬ නගනවා අවශ්‍ය කටයුතු කරනවා.
අධිකරණයේ කිව්වොත් 3න් 2කින් මේ අනුමත කරගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ආණ්ඩුවට 3න් 2 තියෙනවා නේද?
තීන්දුව එනකන් ඉඳමු. 3න් 2කින් කී දෙනෙක් ඡන්ද දෙයිද දන්නේ නැහැනේ.
The annual iftar ceremony organised by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was held at Temple Trees yesterday with the participation of several Muslim MPs. The iftar was held while adhering to the COVID-19 health guidelines. MPs representing the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, Muslim National Alliance and the All Ceylon Makkal Congress were present at the event. MPs Nazir Ahmed, HMM Haris, MS Taufik, Ishaq Rahman, Ali Sabri Rahim and Faisal Qasim, who supported the 20th Amendment to the Constitution, attended the iftar. SMM Musharraf, who supported the dual citizenship clause in the 20th Amendment, was also present.
Muslim Parliament உறுப்பினர்
The Muslim MPs who supported the 20th Amendment had attended the iftar organised by the Prime Minister. Media reports claim that the MPs had discussed the problems faced by the Muslim community with the Prime Minister. If the discussions revolved around the issues of the people, we appreciate that very much. However, we are concerned whether this is yet another attempt of the government to garner support for the Colombo Port City Economic Commission Bill.
காரணம் எங்களுக்கு ஒரு சந்தேகமாக காணப்படுகின்றது.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa met with US Ambassador to Sri Lanka Elena B. Teplitz today. The Prime Minister's media division said that the meeting had taken place at Temple Trees. Meanwhile, Canadian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, David McKinnon, met opposition leader Sajith Premadasa in Colombo today. The opposition leader's office stated that the meeting was based on multiple bilateral matters of importance. In addition, both sides exchanged views on the present COVID-19 pandemic in Sri Lanka and ways to uplift the health sector in the country to combat the virus.
I have been speaking to the various country representatives.
Main sponsor.
Still in local news, Attorney General Thappulle Dilivera has rejected President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's offer to act as Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to Canada. State Counsel Nishara Jayaratne, the coordinating officer to the Attorney General, stated that Attorney General Dilivera has conveyed to the President that he wishes to remain in Sri Lanka to serve the public. However, Attorney General Thappulle Dilivera has thanked the President for his offer. Thappulle Dilivera is due to retire at the end of this month. While people are facing the brunt of COVID-19, their elected representatives continue to trade blows among each other. Today's meeting at the Maharagama Urban Council ended in a brawl between councillors Savithri Gunasekara and Nishantha Vimalachandra.
Ruwan Senarathne was carrying a cardboard in the chamber questioning as to who leaked footage of the recent incident at the cubicle to social media. I stood up against that. He uses profanity to address the councillors. This has been taking place frequently. As female lawmakers, we had to use our mobile phones as the only tool to record evidence. We then recorded what he was speaking. I informed about this to party leaders and those whom I knew. Although our party is represented by the symbol of the bicycle, we belong to the government. Mahinda Rajapaksa addressed a meeting here and requested the people to vote for our party by drawing parallels to the SLPP.
We joined the government to support the work plan of the President and the Prime Minister. We are not in this position to listen to these women. Therefore, Councillor Chandrika Soiza and Savithri Gunasekara must bear responsibility for this. The Maharagama police launched an investigation into the complaint stating that the mobile phone of Councillor Savithri Gunasekara had gone missing during the scuffle.
Residents in the vicinity of the Yala National Park are suffering due to the construction of several tourist lodges bordering the area.
Several cabana-style lodges have been built in the Dambava area, which is located within the vicinity of the Yala National Park. Certain lodge owners have even used private electric fences to reserve lands for which they claim ownership.
ඉතින් තියෙන මිනිහ ඉතින් හදා ගන්න නැති මිනිස්සු ඉතින් ඒ හැමදාම එක්කම තන තමයි ඉන්නේ. එතන මේ අවුරුදු දෙකක තුනක වගේ කාලයක් ඇතුළත තමයි ඕක ව්‍යාප්ත වෙමින් පවතින්නේ. ඊට ඉස්සර වෙලත් එක දෙක තිබුණා. එච්චරම නෑ. අපට ඕන කැලේ වැවෙන්න සතුන්ට කෑම හැදෙන්න. ඒ වුණාට මේ අපට තමයි කරදරේදී. හොටල් ගහනවා, කැම්ප් සයිට් ගහනවා. ඕක ඒ කාලේ මේක මේ සේරම වනාන්තරේ මේ අලි කොටි සෑම සතෙක්ම ඉන්නවා.
The Dissanayake zonal forest officer Kapila Jyoti Muni said that although the construction of several lodges have commenced in 2015 with the approval of the Department of Forest Conservation, unauthorized constructions have also emerged. He further stated that a request had been made from the Forest Conservation General to reacquire these lands under the Land Acquisition Act. A broad discourse had arisen recently on the environmental destruction that had been taking place in Kalavana on the borders of the Singharaja forest. Environmentalists have continued to point out that 2 elephants in the Singharaja reserve encroach into the surrounding villages more often than today. They also note that several elephant corridors in the area have been obstructed as well. A testament to this observation, a 3-wheeler that had been travelling in Kalavana had been attacked by a wild elephant that had emerged from the reserve. Wildlife officers say that the elephant had emerged from the Singharaja reserve.
They have cleared lands and constructed hotels on corridors that serve as a passage for elephants and other animals. This problem will continue to persist. The elephants have no habitat to live on. The lands have been cleared. As a result, elephants are forced to travel through the roads.
Welcome back to the news. A security officer at a private bank was injured as he took steps to prevent a robbery from taking place at an ATM machine in Anuradhapura.
Two individuals who had arrived on a motorcycle had attempted to rob an employee of a security firm while depositing money in an ATM machine in Anuradhapura. They had attempted to rob the employee of the security firm who had been carrying cash in a bag after throwing chili powder at him. However, the attempted robbery is reported to have failed. The security officers of this institution have reported to have fired gunshots at the thieves. The security officer of the private bank had been injured at that time. Police said that the thieves had fled the area following the incident. The security officer who was injured in the gunfire had been admitted to the Anuradhapura hospital.
A controversy has arisen over the disparity between the price of a gas cylinder and its quantity. Against such a backdrop, Samagi Jana Balawegiya parliamentarian Kabir Hashim addressed a media briefing today with a gas cylinder by his side. We leave you tonight with the remarks expressed by the opposition parliamentarian. I am Chaturang Hapwarachi. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.
The epilogue.
$මාරක සිලින්ඩරේ කිලෝග්‍රෑම් $මාරක් තිබුණා. එයින් 1 කිලෝග්‍රෑම් එකක් ගත්තම
In a 12.5 kilogram gas cylinder, 1 kilogram of gas cost 121 rupees and 60 cents. However, when they had filled 18 liters of gas into the existing cylinder, they are selling the product at 1,418 rupees. They fraudulently increased the price of a kilo of cylinder to 115 rupees and 80 cents. This is an increase of 27%. Therefore, this is a massive fraud. Liter Gas is a state entity. I believe that this company is under Niwad Cabral. He boasts in parliament and enjoys it. Is he aware of this fraud? When Gotabaya Rajapaksa came into power with the support of the Viatmaga group, he stated that Viatmaga members who will be appointed as chairman of institutions will remain committed to the country. He appointed these individuals as chairman. As far as I know, the chairman of Liter Gas, who is under Gotabaya Rajapaksa, is receiving a monthly wage or an allowance of more than 2 million rupees. Those who come to power by saying they will work for the country are now increasing the price of gas cylinders by defacing its label. This is illegal. The government must take legal action against all officials linked to this act of fraud. We hope to obtain the support of the court in this matter.